The night was moonless, the kind of darkness that swallowed everything whole. The B-2 Spirit bomber lifted off the runway at Whiteman Air Force Base, its silhouette vanishing against the sky almost instantly. The engines hummed in a low, controlled rhythm, more like the pulse of a living creature than a machine. Inside the cockpit, Captain Harris sat rigid, his eyes scanning the endless black horizon. Beside him, Lieutenant Cole monitored the screens, the soft green glow reflecting in his eyes. Their mission was classified, the coordinates known only to them and a handful of officials at the Pentagon. It was supposed to be a simple in-and-out strike, swift and unseen. But in the world of stealth, even the smallest mistake could turn invisibility into a death sentence. As the bomber reached cruising altitude, the world below became an abstract painting of darkness and silence. They crossed into restricted airspace, and Harris ordered full radio silence. Every breath inside the cockpit seemed amplified, every click of the controls a reminder that they were deep in enemy territory. Altitude steady. No radar signatures, Cole whispered, almost afraid that even sound could betray them. The B-2 was designed to be undetectable, but nothing man-made is ever perfect. Harris knew that somewhere out there, powerful radars were searching the skies, waiting for a shadow to slip through the invisible net. Hours passed in uneasy calm. The flight computer displayed a flawless path, the atmosphere outside was steady, and the Earth's curvature shimmered faintly in the distance. Then, it happened, a flicker on the radar, small but persistent. "Contact," Harris asked quietly. Cole frowned, zooming in. Could be static, or a reflection. The flicker appeared again, this time joined by another one, moving fast, too fast for any civilian aircraft. "That's not static," Cole said, his voice tight. "Two heat signatures, one from the east, one from the west, converging rapidly." Harris tightened his grip on the controls. "They've got us locked," he said, disbelief coloring his tone. How could they have been seen? The stealth systems were active, the radar cross-section minimal. Yet the missiles were real, racing toward them with deadly precision. The bomber, once invisible, was suddenly the brightest target in the sky. The alarm screamed inside the cockpit, red lights flashing across the panels. Cole's hands flew over the controls, activating countermeasures. "Two incoming, closing fast. ETA, 15 seconds. Harris dove the aircraft hard left, the G-force pressing them into their seats. The B-2 cut through the air like a falling blade. Outside, two trails of fire streaked toward them, brilliant against the night. "Deploying flares," Cole shouted. The rear bay opened, releasing a burst of blinding light into the darkness. The missiles responded instantly, adjusting course with unnatural intelligence. "They're not fooled," Cole gasped. These weren't standard heat-seeking weapons, they were adaptive, locked to infrared and electromagnetic signatures. Harris made another split-second decision, pulling the bomber into a steep dive. The wings groaned under the strain, turbulence tearing across the body. The altimeter spun downward as the Earth rushed closer. "We're too low," Cole shouted, fighting to stabilize the instruments. Harris ignored him, flipping the ECM switch. The bomber's electronic countermeasures erupted into action, flooding the airwaves with jamming signals. For a moment, the radar screen flickered into chaos. One missile blinked out of existence, it had lost lock. "One's gone," Cole yelled, relief flooding his voice. But the second missile stayed steady, unwavering, a deadly serpent on their tail. 10 seconds to impact. The horizon blurred as Harris pulled up, engines screaming, the missile closing from behind. "Hang on," he barked. The explosion came not from outside but within, a flash of pure white light that blinded them, followed by the deafening roar of a shockwave. The bomber jolted violently, alarms howling, smoke filling the cockpit. Cole coughed, his ears ringing. Direct hit. Harris tried to see through the haze, his vision spinning. The systems flickered, half the displays dead. "Left wing damaged," Cole reported, panic creeping into his voice. Harris gritted his teeth. The B-2 was wounded, bleeding, but still flying. "We're not done yet," he said grimly, pushing the throttle forward. Behind them, the wreckage of the first missile drifted into the void, while the second had vanished into the explosion's glare. For now, the sky was silent again, but they both knew that silence could be the most dangerous sound of all. The bomber spun through the night like a wounded bird, flames licking from its left wing. Captain Harris fought the controls, sweat dripping down his temples as the alarm screamed in his ears. The cockpit filled with acrid smoke, the glow of damaged systems flickering erratically. Hydraulic pressure failing, Cole shouted, his voice nearly drowned by the chaos. Harris gritted his teeth, trying to steady the craft. Reroute to auxiliary systems, he ordered, his tone sharp but calm. Cole's fingers flew over the panels, sparks bursting from a console as the bomber shuddered again. Stabilizers at 50%, maybe less. The B-2 was hurt, but it wasn't finished. Somewhere beyond the clouds, the world's deadliest stealth machine refused to die. As they dropped altitude, the sky opened into a churning sea of thunderclouds. The first crack of lightning illuminated the bomber's scarred fuselage, a ghost in the storm. Rain lashed against the windows, streaking across the glass in silver streams. "We'll use the storm to hide," Harris muttered. Cole nodded, adjusting the sensors. "Radar interference is heavy. It's our best cover." But the storm was both a shield and a trap. Electrical interference distorted their instruments, and the constant turbulence made control nearly impossible. "I can't get a read on the horizon," Cole warned. Harris relied on instinct, guiding the crippled aircraft through the chaos. The plane groaned, metal bending under pressure, but it held. Then the radar flickered again. 3 small dots appeared, fast, sharp, closing in. "Enemy fighters," Cole whispered. The enemy had found them, tracking the remains of their heat signature. Harris clenched his jaw. "They're coming to finish the job." The bomber was nearly defenseless. Its stealth advantage was compromised, its countermeasures nearly depleted. "We'll make them think we're already down," Harris said, lowering the power output. The bomber's energy signature faded, blending into the storm static. Outside, lightning flashed in violent bursts, illuminating the sky like battlefield explosions. The enemy fighters swept past once, scanning, but the Spirit remained hidden, silent and patient. Minutes stretched into eternity as they drifted deeper into the storm. Cole rerouted what power he could, bringing critical systems back online. Navigation partially restored. "We can still reach the rendezvous point if we maintain altitude." Harris glanced at the fuel levels and winced. "We'll need a miracle to make it." Then the radar alarm shrieked again. One fighter had found them. "Incoming missile," Cole yelled. Harris slammed the throttle, the bomber rolling into a desperate dive. A streak of light cut through the clouds, the missile slicing closer. "Countermeasures are gone," Cole shouted. Harris made the only choice left. He banked sharply, forcing the bomber into a full roll through lightning and rain. The missile missed by a hair, exploding in a flash that shook the clouds themselves. The shockwave rocked the aircraft, but the Spirit survived. "Still flying," Harris muttered through clenched teeth. "Barely," Cole replied, his face pale but determined. They broke free from the storm an hour later, emerging into the calm edge of dawn. The bomber's silhouette was a ruin, one engine trailing smoke, the left wing torn. Yet it still moved with quiet defiance. On the horizon, the glow of the mission target flickered faintly. "We're here," Cole said softly. Harris looked at him and nodded. "Then let's finish this." The enemy fighter that had chased them through the storm was still out there, searching. Harris saw it on the distant radar, a predator circling its prey. "We can't outrun it," Cole warned. "Then we outsmart it." Harris's mind raced through options. Until he found one last card to play. The decoy system, a false radar echo generator, designed for emergencies. "If this works, we'll give them a ghost to chase." Cole activated the system. A second bomber appeared on the enemy's radar, drifting slightly off their true path. The fighter locked onto it instantly, missile launching in a streak of fire. The explosion lit the sky behind them like sunrise, tearing through the illusion. "He took the bait," Cole said, exhaling for the first time in minutes. Seizing the moment, Harris locked in the final coordinates. Bomb doors open. The payload armed, humming with restrained power. In one final act of precision, the Spirit released its ordnance, a silent storm that struck the target below with perfect accuracy. The earth trembled, and a pillar of fire rose in the distance. "Mission accomplished," Harris said quietly. Cole looked out at the fading horizon, the bomber limping home through the smoke. "They'll never know how close we came." Harris gave a tired smile, the sunrise glinting off the battered glass. The B-2 Spirit, once caught between death and sky, vanished once more into the clouds, the silent ghost of war.